Um, what was the hardest thing in writing your first novel, would you say?
I don't know. I mean, I did really enjoy the process a lot. I mean, I love writing short stories, and I still do. But there's a lot of fun in bringing a narrative on and just keeping on going with it. And being able to know that you're going to play with those characters day by day, and they're kind of with you when you're not writing as well. You know, they're sort of in the back of your mind somewhere. So that was a lot of fun, and also the process of, I mean, probably my least favourite is when you're right down, and a lot of writers love this, but when you're down at the very last bit of polishing and polishing and polishing. Yeah, I kind of like, I think it's because there's a good sense of achievement if you can say, I sat down and I wrote X number of words today. It might have been X number of words of complete and utter rubbish, but I did it. Whereas if you spend, you know, maybe a few days actually just working and looking at what you've already got in terms of structure, and I tend to do it quite visually as well, like a big bits of paper, and I draw things in different colours of felties and that kind of stuff. But I don't, after I've done that for a few days, I know I have done work, but I just think, it doesn't feel as if I've done anything. So I suppose that's kind of harder, but no, I don't think it was particularly hard in that sense. It was good, it was fun.
You are a graduate of the University of Glasgow Masters Creative Writing Programme. How did you find those? It was a 2-year part-time.
I did it part-time over 2 years. It was different from how it is now. It's changed quite a few times, I think, in process. It was before the professors came on board, and it was slightly different. I think it was between Strathclyde and Glasgow as well at that time. It happened at the right time for me, and it was exactly the right time and the right place to be, because I'd been doing the stories, and I felt, it's like, I didn't quite know what I needed, but I wanted something to kind of give me that focus maybe every week, and that way of having people that you could show your work to and talk to, and having that immersion in writing that's is different, and it was just the right time for me to do it. I found it a very stimulating environment to be in. The tutors were very helpful, and the other folk in the course as well. I think that was really good, you know, because with a course like that, you do a lot of stuff in bigger groups, but also there will be some folk in that course that you will feel that you feel trustful, you will be able to trust to show your work with, and vice versa for them. So there'll be a few folk that you'll be in more close contact with, as well as the kind of group as a whole. And also it gave opportunities for other things. And I think at the time when I did the course, there were quite a lot of people from different places, quite a few, you know, American, Canadian, and so on. And that was good too, because again, I'd always thought of my work as being very, very Scottish, but also probably something that nobody was not Scottish would be that interested in. And the fact that Americans, and of course I was one of them, was wanting to do some kind of spoken word, and immediately liked what I did, and that was good as well. So that was really, really helpful. It was interesting though that one of the things that I thought that I would do on the course I didn't do at all. The first year, when I think it was the second year, I was more into, I started to write the novel, and I thought it would be really good to be able to, particularly in the second year, to have somebody that I could show it in progress. And I thought that I would want to show bits of Buddha as it was in progress, but I discovered that I just never wanted to do it, and I really found it difficult to show anything to anyone until it was quite a highly polished stage. However, the fact that I'd been in the course meant that there were then folk that I could trust and to show it, and like I say, the tutors could not have been, you know, more helpful, and there were also some other students that I felt that I could do that, because it's really quite difficult with a novel. I mean, it's easy enough maybe to find somebody to show a short story to, because they're only spending a few minutes of their life reading it, but you know, to ask someone to read a whole novel is a huge undertaking. But because people were in the course, you knew that they felt they could ask you to do the same thing, so it's not as daunting.
Written for the stage, you've written for theatre in terms of or more. How did you find that process of playwriting versus fiction?
Well, that was really fun. although it was an adaptation of a short story, so I already had the story in place. It was a story, again, it was hieroglyphics, it was a story that I'd always felt might work on stage, and when I was asked to do a play for Aaron Moore, it was quite short notice. It was when Aaron Moore was just starting off. In fact, hieroglyphics was the first play, mainly because I got it in quickly, and David McLennan, who'd asked me to do it, he was interested in getting people who were not playwrights, as well as some playwrights, to do plays, people who were writing other genres. And when I showed him the story, he liked it and wanted me to do it. It is a completely, I think writing in different forms is really interesting, because radio again is different, and drama is different from the novel. I think a lot of the differences in how much is contributed by other people, in that sense of you're not just writing words for people to read in their heads, you're writing them for actors to say, and therefore you have to leave them space to put something into it. And also the director, and I was really lucky as well, because David paired me up with Gerda Stevenson, who's fantastic, phenomenal. I mean, she's an actress, she's a writer herself, she's a director, and she was wonderful because she was then able to look at the script I'd produced and make her suggestions. And then when we went along, I went along to a couple of the rehearsals, and to see it coming into shape with the actors, it was brilliant. It was really, really good fun. Great. Couldn't have hoped for more.
Yeah.